Hey everybody, welcome back to Tater Mountain. Today we're going to talk about what some Southerners call liquid gold. It's called Southern sweet tea. There's different versions of how you make it, different brands with how you make it. But I grew up on good Southern homemade sweet tea. My grandma, she used to use black tea, Louisiana brand to be specific. And once she brewed it up on her stovetop, she would add, after it cooled down a little bit, she would add a bottle Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola today doesn't taste like it does back then, so I've been trying to fiddle around with how I could get that taste of how my grandma used to make it with what I have to use today. So what we have here is I have a kettle full of filtered water. You always want to use filtered water. That or distilled bottled water. But we have a filter on our sink, so it's that. But what I have here is 3 Louisiana tea bags. This is the black tea bags. The red labels is full caffeine. If you can't have full caffeine, they do make a green label, which is decaffeinated. Doesn't have as much caffeine in it, but it does have a little. All decaffeinated stuff has a little caffeine in it. But we're going to use red label. And what I do is I twist my tea bags, I put them in my pot, make sure they're not going to go anywhere because it's going to be sitting on the stove for a few minutes. And then the special ingredient is Earl Grey. You need 1 little bag. A lot of people use this as a breakfast tea or a hot tea, which is good on its own. But to put that flavor in it, like my grandma used to have with the Coca-Cola, Earl Grey does it. So what I do is I take it out of the bag. I cut the string off. Don't cut the tea bag, just cut the string. And I plop it down in there because you're going to leave it in there. Even when you pour it into the jug, you're going to leave the tea bag in there. And again, if you don't want all that caffeine, they do make a decaffeinated version, which is a green label. And then what I do is I take a cup of sugar, put it in, and then just a little bit more than a half of sugar. So it's like 1.5 cups of sugar. Because you're going to add more water to this when you put it in your gallon tea bag. Then I'm going to turn my oven on medium because you don't want it boiling over. You want this to seep so it incorporates the tea. Black tea is very good for you. It's got a lot of antioxidants in it. I mean, if you don't want all the sugar, you could add honey as a substitute, but it's not going to last as long as if you use regular sugar, because honey, I've found, tends to ferment quicker. And you don't want to leave this out on the counter or do any kind of sun baking with it. This is something that you brew on the stove in your kettle. So we're going to wait about 30 minutes or so and let this seep and cool down, and we'll be back here shortly. Okay. So our tea has been sitting on medium, brewing, getting that good fresh tea flavor in there for probably, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 minutes, and we've let it cool off. So what I'm going to do, oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, always use a wooden spoon. Don't use a metal one because for some reason it puts a taste in it, kind of like a metallic-y taste. So a wooden spoon is always good to use to stir the sugars in your teas together. Now that all of that is done, I'm going to take the main tea bags out. I'm just going to discard those. You can also use those tea bags in your garden. Kind of helps put some nutrients in the soil for whatever plants that you have in there. But the tea bag that we have in there, which is the Earl Grey, we're going to leave it in there. And we're going to put this into our jug. Be real careful when you're doing this. And if it don't go all the way to the top of your jug, what you can do It just adds you a little bit more filtered water. Alright, and then have you a glass with some ice in it. Fresh brewed Southern sweet tea. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm going to give this over to Jeff and let him take a swig.
Now that's some high quality sweet tea.
So there you have it, everybody. How to make fresh Southern brewed sweet tea. If you would, go to tatermountain@mail.com. Send us your name in the description for our 100 subscriber seed drawing. And we appreciate you coming. See you later. Bye.
Have a nice day.